This is Lauren.
This is Trey.
And this
is the Partnership Podcast.
That little other one. Good morning, my love.
Holy shit, back in the chairs.
Back in the chairs, back in the studio.
In the studio.
Studio.
The guest bedroom is our studio.
It's our studio.
Professional podcasters.
You know, thank goodness for this little guest bedroom, though. It's so wonderful to be able to just pop in here and do this, though.
Are we going to do advertisements on YouTube now that we can and Spotify and stuff?
For doing advertisements, we need more on Spotify. Spotify like way upped it, which is good. And then
should we?
And then on YouTube, you have to hit a certain number of listening hours within a year. It's so interesting. And so when we have a surge of listenership, I don't know if this is going to end up in the podcast or not. We get so close. We are like 300 hours away, but then like it's shifting. Like, you know, it's calculating 365 days from today. So like sometimes we had a really good surge last year on August 1st. And so then once we pass by that, the number drops back down again. Is this making any sense?
Makes perfect sense. Now, if we hit these numbers, should we? Because right now it's uninterrupted, right?
It's uninterrupted. There are pros and cons. If we want to make this a money-making machine, we should do some ads. But the brilliant Allie has told me that also when you do that, you open yourself up for a lot more strikes. And we talk a lot about salacious things.
Cock, pussy.
Yeah. And if we say that,
shit,
we really run the risk. Also,
balls.
I think I told you that our music is supposed to be royalty free. I found it on YouTube Music,
yeah.
And it keeps getting flagged as that might be a me thing. I might need to go in the back and make sure that it's registered as like I got it from an official. I did this on purpose. I'm in trouble.
What I can do?
Allie is saying that she doesn't do it, and you know how big her audience is.
I can hum like intro, outro. I can come up with my own score. I could hum.
Yeah.
And then if anybody were to use my humming,
they would be in trouble.
They would be YouTube struck.
You could just go around on YouTube strucking.
Yeah, I'm into strucking. Oh, fuck it. I'll struck you so good if you use my humming. Oh my God.
Anyway, yes, we can decide what we want to do. We really can. And we can, like everything else we do, hun, we can make a decision and change our minds.
Cool.
Learn through trial and error.
Hell yeah.
You know how we feel. It's okay to be messy. It is okay to be messy. And we'll see. We'll see. But before we just launch into today's conversation, this podcast is reaching new audiences, which is really beautiful. And one of my favorite things that is making me giggle is that some human beings, are you one of these, when they find our podcast, goes back to the OG, like goes back to the beginning and is starting our podcast from day one and listening all the way through. And every time I hear this, I grip my chair a little bit because we were babies.
Personally, it's very terrifying. And also, I do the same thing.
You do.
Some of my favorite podcasts, I listen to the episodes that they made 7 years ago because they were different people going through different things. And these are comedy podcasts, but are you getting tight? Do you feel tense right now?
Do you?
No.
I think about
my recommendation is don't do that, but like, hey, that's what it's there for.
Yeah.
Please don't do that, but hey.
And I have heard from folks that the Lauren that they meet now in sessions or on the internet, it is actually very freeing for them to go back and see. Because they're like, oh, wow, you guys, you were a mess. You ran into some things. You worked it through on camera. You are not some guru on a mountain. And that was exactly why we wanted to do this podcast.
Yeah, and the messes are opportunities to get sharper. Yeah. And I've wanted to avoid messes for the overwhelming majority of my life. I am just now at almost 42, not welcoming them, but like, I guess acknowledging them. It's almost like the shadow side.
Yes.
We talk a lot about shadow archetypes. Perfect example, the dutiful soldier. The shadow side of that is like the soldier of fortune. The soldier of fortune, like the shadow archetype, isn't bad, and it really shouldn't be repressed or put down or ignored or like, I don't know, shut in a dark room. It should be acknowledged. and you can learn from them. And it's a it's like a ping, ding, 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 ding. So it's like a little buzzer for like, hey, something's going on. So that's what conflict is for me now.
Yeah. You know what? I don't think I've told you this out loud, so why not tell you on air? I absolutely have noticed that shift. I think one of the number one things we would see if we went back in time and watched this podcast is your verbiage shifting from, I want this to never happen again. What can we do to keep this from never happening again? To, what can we do to be curious when this happens again? Again, not the same argument, not inflicting pain, not violating one another. No. But when we find ourselves in a messy spot again, in a misunderstanding, in a mess, what do we do then? How do we stay open? How do we get curious? And honey, it is one of the most beautiful things in the world. It reduces my stress levels tremendously, because I think there was this idea that I just needed to be better for you. I needed to, stay away from those things, keep you from those instances because they were so activating for your body and seemed to convey a message to you that you weren't respected and valuable to me and all of these things, which was so heartbreaking to me, because you've never been anything less than stupendous in my mind. And so there was a fear of running into one of these instances. And now there is, a deep preference not to have instances where we misunderstand each other and accidentally wound each other. Of course, I would prefer not to. But even in the midst of our most recent one, we had one at the end of our New York stay. Even in the darkest midst, I was like, we're going to be okay. We have so many tools to navigate this. And we would go apart, do our curious work, come back, try, stumble again, have sex. There was spaciousness inside of it. And I think that was one of the first times, and I mean, we'll get to it because I think some of this personal stuff that you were going through was happening almost simultaneously. Like it was starting. It was one of the first times where at the end, after we had resolved and repaired and done some beautiful work, I never heard from you. Okay, good. We've done this so we never have to do this again.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. Ideally, sure, but it just doesn't work like that.
I'd argue that there are some arguments that we have had once and have never had again because they didn't need to be had again. Like, I think if we went back and watched some of these, we'd giggle. Simply because we have learned more about each other and about ourselves. Great. But we will misunderstand one another. We will tell a story in our heads and plug and play. We will go to shadow out of fear.
Or default to defensiveness first. Yeah, that was like the whole misunderstanding was like I defaulted to defensiveness so quickly. And once I was out of it, it's like, Trey, how do you fall into this trap yet again? If you were to stay curious, if you were to ask questions, if you were to, intent versus impact. Because, like, can you rely on Lauren to be curious? Absolutely. Like, you actually lead the way when it comes to that. You're the example in the relationship. I feel like I stumble in the dark every now and then you're so patient with me at times. And so, yeah, I strive to be more curious like you.
Love you.
Love you too.
Let's talk about
breakup. I had a breakup recently.
Yeah.
I would love, if you want to pepper me with questions, I can answer them the best that I can.
Great. Feel free to say pass.
Yeah, sure.
Feel free to ask for a repeat. Feel free to ask me to clarify. Lots of my people do that. They'll be like, can you ask that again? All right. You've gone through a breakup. That's what we're calling it. And can you just give us a brief overview of this breakup itself?
Yeah, and I'd like to start with this sounds ridiculous and these aren't real problems, but it is. It's kind of a separation of, this was a friend breakup, so this was a breakup with another man and then other guys. I've been playing in the same fantasy football league. This would have been, this is our 18th year together. I founded the league. I've been the commissioner, and we did a lot of wholesale changes this year. We brought on 2 new guys. We changed a bunch of the rules. We modernized the league. And let's see, it became, one person in particular didn't like the rule changes, and it got to the point where, for me, it was so poisonous and toxic, and the back and forth. And then I fell into the trap of wanting to be right and arguing, and it just got so embarrassing after a while that what did I do? I reached a point where it's like, oh, I'm not this one particular guy. It's like, I'm done being in a relationship with this guy. So I proposed hey, me or him, we vote. Yeah, I talked to one of the guys, and one of the guys is like, if either one of you leave for this reason, I'm out. So I was like, oh, this league's probably going to fold. And yeah, there was a text thread. There's the thread on the app. And so somebody said goodbye in the thread, and then I just left the thread. And then I just left the league, where I turned over, I switched to little things where somebody else is in control of the league. And then I left. A couple of days later, the boys started reaching out, and they're like, hey, the dust has settled. Here are some solutions. We want you to stay here. Here are a couple of the options. And I reflected on it, and I just said no. So in choosing not to be in relationship with this one particular guy, I'm no longer in relationship. I'm not part of that little treehouse anymore. Which there was a mourning period, there was sadness. What questions do you have for me?
Beautiful. Looking back, even just this far out, we are not far out. What are some initial things that you would have done differently? And I want you to know I ask this with complete freedom to be messy, okay? So the way we look through things is always, it's okay to be messy, and it's okay to learn through it. It is also okay to go, wow, I would have done this differently. But also I have follow-up questions, because I also think that this is a beautiful, painful growth process. So I don't think you did anything quote unquote wrong, but what would you have done differently, even just this quickly in retrospect?
I would have asked for more support sooner from the other guys.
Fascinating.
Because it became this one-on-one argument with one of the guys, and it was all in the threads, and it just became embarrassing. And I, for weeks, tried to de-escalate, tried to explain, so I would have asked for more support earlier from the other guys. Yeah, there's also something in me where I would have just said hey, I'm the boss, get on my page, get the fuck out. But I didn't want to do that. But there is something that I wish I would have just shut the fuck up. But I didn't. What else? Oh, I wish I wouldn't have done initially, when it was me or him vote. I wish I wouldn't have done that. I wish I would have, because I started a new thread just with the OG members,
Sure,
not the 2 new guys. And so that's when I said, like, me or him. And then the reaction came back of like, no. So I wish I would have, I wish I would have said like, hey, this isn't going to work. Like, we need to come to a common ground, or, because I did want to stay in a league. And I felt like I made a mess of it. Oh, I wish I wouldn't have fallen into the trap of wanting to be right.
Why did you want to be right?
Why did I want to be right?
What would that have provided you with?
I wanted to get it right. And then it mutated into, I wanted to be right. What's your question?
Why? What would it provide it? What would have being right provided you with? What would that have?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What else, baby?
Did you find it all? I just praised you earlier this episode for like your curiosity and was it challenging to utilize the tools that we use in partnership so often with this group? And if so, why?
No.
Okay.
There were multiple times where it's like, no.
You were trying?
Yeah, I tried for weeks. For weeks. Yeah.
To use some of the tools that we use, that we reflect on. Have you you've been in a relationship with most of these friends for how long?
20 years.
Yeah. Do you use some of the tools that we use with Uncle Jay, with others in our lives?
Oh, yeah, they're integrated at this point, yeah.
Did you find it all a rub there that it wasn't a two-way street, that you weren't being met with curiosity as well?
I didn't expect to.
Okay.
And after the guy that I was arguing with, like, no, I just didn't expect to. And then it ultimately became about like, oh, the most important thing for me is actually getting off this ride.
Yeah.
Because I knew it would never stop. And if it wasn't this, it was about something else. And it became so contentious that, no, I finally got to the point of groundedness and calmness when I was like, oh, I'm done. And what I wanted was to be done in relationship with this person. Like, I didn't want to go back to the table. One of the guys reached out and it was so beautiful where he shared fears of like, I'm never going to see these guys if I don't have this. And it's valid. Like the loss of, like the thought of the loss of connection, the loss of like the treehouse burns down. Where do we go now? It's like, oh, fuck. But for me, the most important thing was to get out of relationship with one of these guys. And I had to leave the thing that I founded. So, and the way I go back in my mind, but my job now is actually to not do that. So to not go through scenarios, to not hold on to any animosity, to not do what ifs. So because I have a very strong propensity to tell stories in my mind. So it's actually, I shut them down. I just go, no thanks, not right now. And I actually verbally say it out loud. And then in order to let this go, literally dropping the image of dropping a weight, and it goes wherever it goes. It's like dropping a weight out of the sky, and then it just goes. And then a lot of hugs, saying goodbye to the boys in this space. Like, nobody's dead. Yeah. In this space, just saying goodbye. And also, like, the league goes on, which is good. It's good.
It's such a beautiful image. And what would you say that you are mourning, grieving?
Well, I had some really good keepers. I had some young wide receivers. I made a good trade got back into the first round. I got back-end picks next year. I got a 6th and a 9. Because I can dominate with back-end picks.
Mm-hmm. Men struggle in relationship. Anyway, what are...
I'm answering your question. What's the problem?
What do you think has been most grievous for you? Because I applaud you for the way that you have been...
We don't get to connect. So I don't get to connect with the boys that I've been connecting with on this for this thing for... This would be our 18th year.
Yeah.
So I'm grievous for the loss of this club.
Yes. I love that you're calling it a Trey house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's our own little fort.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we got to build it together, and I got to be the leader of the build. So I got to be the architect of it. Yeah.
You and I have talked about this off air. But I think that developmentally, we know what a nerd I am for developmental processes, even inside of relationship. And so when I think about the age that you guys are, the age of this group, that is a very normal age for humans to start needing to differentiate. They have grown in different directions. They have become, right? They have developed different tools. They are different forms of people than they used to be. And it would be a very normal age to go off to college, to spread our wings, to separate. And I think that our culture has a obsession with worshiping, celebrating longevity, and making that the sign of successful relationship. And I have been so proud of you for the ways in which I have seen you grieve this and also simultaneously celebrate the beauty that has existed in this for years and years. Mm-hmm. That it's really tricky to maintain something over a long, long period of time, because at some point we can get a little skewed and start to prioritize the longevity of the thing over the health and well-being of the people inside of it. And it's just a fact.
During the end, I got support, but I got it individually, like one-to-one. I didn't get support, not a lot on the boards or like publicly.
Yeah.
And then when I left and they invited me to come back, the solution that was presented to me was like, just ignore them. Mm. One of the things that has been a challenge for me was like, accountability. Yeah. And I don't fault any of the boys for this because maybe they didn't want the fight. And maybe they just didn't, like, they don't have the tools or maybe they don't have that of like, hey, what you're doing is not okay. I got a lot of that one-to-one. I didn't get that publicly. Also, I didn't ask for it. I thought I could solve this on my own because I'm the boss. So I had that too. Of like, I got this on my own. I know how to solve this. Yeah. And then, and eventually it was like, I don't fucking need this. Mm-hmm. So there is a bit of martyr in me where it's like, oh no, if nobody's going to come to, if nobody's going to read my mind, just do it without me. So there was some of that.
Way to name it. Mm-hmm. Way to name it. Again, we get to be messy. We get to fuck things up. It was
messy. Like it was embarrassing. It was messy. It was handled poorly. Like, we got 2 new members. Like, they got to witness all this. It was just fucking embarrassing.
And you and I both believe deeply that we all get to take 100% of accountability for what is ours to own when it comes to relationship mess. It is not just their fault. It's not just his fault. We had an active part in it, and way to find another little thing that... Listen, we are sometimes the villain in another story, and sometimes it's rightly so. Sometimes we fucked up. There have been times, I was telling a client the other day that when I went through my separation and divorce, I completely ghosted folks. There were people who reached out. I never texted them back. Is there a reason? Yes. Were they deserving of that? No. Did I drop the ball? Yeah. I was not a good friend.
Do you have any other questions for me?
Mm-hmm. Okay. What have you learned about leadership?
What have I learned about leadership? Fuck.
It's okay if you want to circle back too, because I've been dying to ask you this question.
That question just there?
Uh-huh.
Pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's lonely as fuck out there sometimes. Anyway, I can't wait to I know you'll think on this. I would love to ask that again. I'd love to circle back on that one.
There's a lot of different ways to do it. Leadership, there's a lot of fucking different ways to do it. And then, maybe fire people faster? I don't know.
Okay, circle back on that one. Because I think that'll be a fascinating, I can always envision like your growth trajectory. And I'm like, can't wait to see what comes of this one. Because we took some fascinating walks where I'd be like, yep. Remember when these things happened to me too?
You know what? Leadership, hopefully the waters have calmed. Like, hopefully things are running more smoothly now that I have removed myself from the equation. Maybe. I don't have any updates. I don't know if I want them, but like, maybe. So hopefully, because the league goes on, the boys still wanted to play. Yep. They still wanted to be in connection. Great. Even some of the guys checked in with me where it's like, is this okay if we continue this? And I go, yes, good. So, yeah, hopefully now that I've removed myself from the situation, hopefully the waters have smoothed.
Pivoting. Male friendship.
Yeah.
Do you think it's important?
Yes, absolutely.
Why?
Why is male friendship important?
Yeah. What have you noticed about?
There's certain things we talk about that. What is it? Why is it important? Pass.
Yeah.
What else, babe?
I have loved to watch how you build community. And do you think that this fantasy football thing is a way that you've built community before?
1000%.
Yeah. And why do you think it works? I've noticed you already being like, ooh, and I wonder if I could create another one. And if I could do this again. Why does it feel like such a tangible?
This loss does open the possibility of new, which is great. Yeah, it clears a pathway for other things too.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Talk about that. Because I so believe that even when something feels ripped from our hands, which sometimes happens, right?
I chose to leave. I chose to stop the fight.
Right.
Yeah, or capitulate. So I stood in my own for right or wrong, and then I just chose to leave. So it was my choice.
I know. And what I meant by that was some people choose to leave something and some people get forced to leave something. Yeah. And regardless, I think that a loss creates space for something new. And like it or not, it's just physics. And But I've seen you starting to imagine what building new forms of community could look like. And has that been exciting, grievous, both? Yeah, what has that felt like?
Exciting.
Okay.
It's been exciting. It's like there's more time for other things now. So it's just been exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's allowed to suck and it's also allowed to be exciting.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that we started this podcast talking about curiosity and going there in messy spaces. Do you feel like you were met with curiosity during this whole thing?
No.
Do you think curiosity is a learned behavior?
Yes. Yeah. I didn't request it either. Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Then there are also feelings of like, oh, fuck. Like, I didn't feel a lot of appreciation. Granted, that's not their job, but I just felt the opposite. I just felt criticism after a while. Like when the text thread would go off, I would hate to see it after a while. Like, because I was prepared for a fight after a while. Or I was prepared to throw a bucket of water on something after a while. And then I started making mistakes, in my opinion. There was complaints about the draft, how we were going to do the draft, and I actually changed it. I did it unilaterally, too. That was a big thing, too, where I was making these wholesale changes. And I did it a year ago, and that was one of their big, that was one of the big complaints. It was like, you're doing it without approval. And my justification is like, well, 98% of these things I do, like, if we voted on everything, we'd have about 100 things, about 50, 60 things to vote on. Like, guys. So I did, like, as the leader, I painted the picture how I wanted to paint it. And, yeah. So I made a change. That was probably the last straw. I made a change, and the intention was to try to accommodate. And what a mistake where if you're trying to accommodate 4 guys, another 4 guys are going to be pissed off because they've prepared for it to be this way. So it was just, and I was like, oh, I'm starting to make like mistakes here. But the intention is to be more palatable. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I was just fucking sick of it after a while. Huh. What else, babe?
Is this experience giving you any increased compassion for anyone who's leading anything? Has that expanded there yet?
Sure.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's always been there.
Okay.
Oh, that's always been there for me. Like, I understand all the levers you got to pull, and like, I understand you just need to, as a leader, sometimes you got to carve it the way you want to carve it. And then after a while, I fully, like, there's a trust factor there, or if there's a success factor there, it's you ask for forgiveness. You don't ask for permission. And fucking the market will let you know. And then you got to make choices out of curiosity and yeah.
In my previous industry, we had a very common understood principle of after 10 years, the executive director should move aside for somebody new. What do you think about that as it comes to a commissioner?
I got a lot more empathy for it today than I did 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, I got a lot more understanding for it.
Yeah. I think that idea that transferring of leadership, like retiring while we're still at the peak of our game, letting fresh blood come in, I think there's something to it. I think there's something to it being for the people, for the group, for the collective, as opposed to being, I just think there's something to it in many fields.
I agree.
And I do. Yeah, it has been fascinating to me to watch male friendship. What's going through your head right now? That's my question.
Just, kind of resentment right now. Yeah, not for, Yeah, for just how it went down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a little pissy right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I assumed it would get that way because you've been doing such a good job moving this through you. And now I'm like, sit in this chair and let's talk about it.
Oh,
But
I wanted to.
this was, it
Yeah.
was your original. I let the audience know he wasn't, this was at Trey's request because we talk about this relationship so often. And it's outside relationships, I would say, are integral to our partnership.
100%.
I mean, we are big proponents. And so, these relationships have been something that have been a constant in Trey's life since way before I knew him. And this is a loss. I do deeply believe, I want to speak this over you, that you will continue to nurture and maintain some of the primary relationships that were in existence even before this league began.
It will be more challenging. Yeah, that's the way it is, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, breakups are hard.
Incredibly.
Yeah.
I have clients going through breakups right now. Yeah, what has it shifted inside of you?
It's a really good exercise in trying to complete the loop. Like truly complete the loop.
Yeah.
Not go back and just, oh, if I would have done this differently or that differently. It's like, no, it happened the way it happened. And what I got out of it was he was the last guy, like, in my life that I tolerated. There's no one else in my life that I'm in steady relationship with that I tolerated. So that was my gift. Yeah, the gift is I never have to interact with this guy ever again. Which is like freeing. Yeah, and it came at a cost.
Can I brag on you for a second?
Sure.
One of the things that I have found most beautiful here is you said, I'm done at a certain point, which you and I talk a ton about self-definition. And you brought in martyrdom a little bit, that you're like, oh, I wonder if, right? This league formed when you didn't have any of the tools that you now have.
No, like 22.
And good boy archetype has been a part of your life for a very long time. And so you have built this amazing league. You've done all of this work. And a younger version of Trey that I knew loved to be rewarded and praised for this work. And heaven forbid if someone didn't see and appreciate all that he was doing. I know that, Trey. He doesn't exist in our relationship anymore. But boy, do I know that, Trey. And so it just doesn't surprise me that some of the residuals of those old pieces of how you existed in relationship, how you formed relationship, how you kept relationship, that they didn't serve you anymore. They didn't. This idea of I do and then y'all stay because you better appreciate what I've done for you. I'm not surprised that ceased working for you. You've outgrown that way of existing in relationship. So yeah, betcha you ran up against some tension. And I loved hearing you get to the I'm done point, because what that does, even if it's fucking messy, is puts us back in our own self, allows us to start to see, no, I cannot endure and tolerate. I can't allow this kind of mistreatment. Now, good old Betty Martin says, with her wheel of consent, that when we've been outside of consent, in a space of martyrdom, shadow side of service, it is easy to stay in shadow. And so when we've been outside of service, it's easy to go outside of allow. We just start to stay in the shadowy bits. And so, yeah, sometimes we have to take a drastic step to get back into relationships where we're all in consent. We're all consenting again. And so I loved watching you say, I'm done. Did it Did it cause friction, breaking of relationship? Yes. Could all of the guys in your fantasy football league come here and sit in these chairs and have lots of different opinions to share? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. And it needed to end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we could point fingers, we could blame, we could do all of these things. I don't think it's necessary. I think what's necessary is the lessons that you're learning through this, the friendships that you're grieving, this breakup that you're processing.
Mm-hmm.
It's been rough, and I'm proud of you for going through the emotional spaces of it. It was really fascinating to watch my teenager and best friend M's teenagers hear about this, because these teens immediately went to curiosity. And that was really cool, because I got to see that they could see a lot of the nuances. They had curious questions for you. They had curious questions for your whole team. Like, it was cool. And I thought, okay, like, you're in the right space, the right curious space to be learning from this. And that's all any of us can do in a breakup. But I'm glad you've been calling it a breakup. I am really proud of you for naming it that, because male friendships are critical. And it's been something that you and I are talking a lot about, of how can healthy male friendships exist in our 40s, in different areas. And I trust you that you'll create a new treehouse, more tree houses. I think you'll be a crafter of tree houses till the cows come home, because you are good at that. You are good at it.
Any more questions for me, or would you like to end there?
Biggest takeaway so far from this breakup?
Biggest takeaway is it's very important who you surround yourself with. It's very important. Yeah. And if somebody's not going to meet you halfway, or 10% of the way, or I don't know, meet you when it comes to empathy and understanding, or, if someone's going to be nice to you finally, when you're actually at the point of threatening ending the relationship or actually doing it, if someone finally gives you the empathy then, where I'm done with you, and someone then comes in of like, I can do all this. Listen to that too. Yeah. You can look up what that is. Yeah. Like, and ask for what you want. Yeah, ask for what you want sooner. That's my biggest. If I could go back, I would ask for support much sooner versus I can do it on my own, because eventually I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I started making mistakes and ultimatums, and I eventually I've made a fucking mess of this shit. I got to get the fuck out of here. How embarrassing. It's like, you thought you were good at this. Well, think again. What an embarrassment. I don't want to repeat any of those mistakes ever again. And if I do, I want to catch them sooner. And that's my takeaway.
Do you think Adrienne Marie Brown's your work, their work, your together work applies to this?
Yeah, 100%. Because one of the things was hey, do you want to get on a call with the guy and try to work it out? And I reflected on it, and there wasn't any place for me to try to solve this with him. And it probably would have turned into more of who's right. Because then we play the no, I'm right game. Yeah. I don't want to play the no, I'm right game with anybody. And I fell into that trap with this guy. And I've done it a bunch over the last 20 years. Yeah. And I'm done. I just want to get it right. I don't want to fall into any more of these traps. And I hope he finds what he needs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope he finds what serves him. like what brings him peace and success, and I hope he finds I hope he finds what he needs in relationship. It's not going to be my job though. And it was so sweet of the guy that was trying to, one of the members that was like, hey, let's like, I don't want to like you two to lose friendship. And in reality, like I haven't considered him a friend for a decade plus. I've just been tolerating him because we're in the same clubhouse together. And now it's done. Like the phone has stopped ringing. And that's a relief. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the solution is never just ignore them. Because I tried that. Mm-mm. Yeah. I tried that. And I was criticized for it. Then I explained myself. I was criticized for it. Like, so, yeah, just, I guess, yeah, I did reach a point where I was just like, I don't want to be fucking criticized anymore. So, anything else, babe?
No, well done, babe.
9:26.
Thank you. I am proud of you.
Thank you.
And if it's okay with you, would love to continue to pepper in what you're learning about male friendships throughout the rest of our podcasting career, because I think that they're so important. And I do not think that a lot of men, young boys, adolescents have been given tools to nurture, grow, and repair male friendships. And it's a thing I get asked about a ton in my work. It's a thing that many men sit in sessions and are close to tears saying, I have no male friends who I can talk about these things with. They are surface level friends.
Yeah.
We can talk about dude stuff, but we can't talk about this. And so if you're willing, as you are reimagining what friendships can look like in your life, and as you now have space to imagine what these can look like, and as I know we're studying these types of things, I would love to keep asking you questions, if that's okay, from your perspective on how can we be doing this? How can we, what's messy, what's hard from your lived experience, because this is your lens, not mine. And if that's okay, I'd love to continue to bring this to the table.
Happily.
Great. Thanks for coming to this episode of the Partnership Podcast with Lauren and Trey. Take it what you like, leave the rest. These are our opinions and our opinions only. You have a right to self-determination and informed decision-making, and we're really glad you're here. If you want to talk about anything regarding breakups, maybe not male friendships, you can go to sexedforyou.com/free consult. And I would love to talk with you about how I work with clients and their relationships and the sex that they have and the ways in which the relationships we have with others, including long-term friendships, affect our primary partnerships, and the ways in which I believe that primary partnerships can help us heal our other secondary and tertiary relationships. Have a great rest of your day, and we will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.